Hello and welcome to Mighty GT. My name is Mighty Toop and today I'm going to be showing you my build. Now recently JB did his build, Mighty Ginger. He recently showed off his build and it's a pretty good build. It is better than mine, but if you want to run something a little bit more, then this build is good for anyone. This is my full exotic build. Apart from the rucksack, but I'll get onto that. But first of all, I will start with the weapons. My guns that I have are the classic AK-47. Now you can get a higher roll than I have got. The only reason why I've got this one is because the talents that it came with are just insane talents. You can buy this one from the weapon vendor, the blueprints vendor. It's a really good gun. If you have the lightweight M4, or I think the G36 is getting patched, they're gonna nerf it to the ground and it's not gonna be very good anymore. If you have a god roll one, keep it because they're still gonna be okay, but I highly recommend getting the classic AK-47. Now I need to get my roll up, but the talents I've got on it are responsive, so damage is increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters to the target. Prepared, damage is increased by 15% when more than 30 meters from the target, and brutal, headshot damage is increased by 12%. It's a very good PvP gun. Moving on to the Navy MP5N, so damage is very low. I need to find myself a much better one than this. Its talents are, at the moment, it's not rolled on. Its talents are ferocious, damage against elite and named enemy increased by 10%, a very good PvE talent. Then I got responsive again, so damage is increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters to the target, and destructive, so armor destruction is increased by 15% when using this weapon, so it can take down enemies pretty quickly. It's also got a 22.50 critical hit chance. And then my G36 Enhanced, which is a powerful gun, but it's not as good as my classic AK. I tend to keep my G36 Enhanced on me just in case I want to use it. Its talents that it's got on is destructive, deadly, so critical hit damage is increased by 15%. Now that is a god roll talent. You always want to roll deadly on. I always find that deadly is going to come in very useful. And focused. Not a talent that I end up really needing, but when no skills are on cooldown, your weapon damage is increased by 10%. So it's a decent gun, the G36. But I use the AK and the Navy MP5N. The primary firepower that I have on at the moment is 366 for 11,000. Now, the G36, if I was to mod all that, I will quickly just show you. If I mod this, strip the weapon, and then put the G36 enhanced on, you'll see the firepower goes up a hell of a lot. So bear with me 1 second, just so I can show you. Already it's higher than that, so 420 is my firepower on the Navy, on the G36 enhanced. It's a very high firepower gun, but I don't always feel like it does anything. But I highly recommend, if you want to use that gun in the Dark Zone, then use it. Go ahead, feel free. It is still a very good gun, and also it's not going to be patched. So yeah. Well, I don't actually know if it's going to be patched. I've looked at some of the early patch notes. Doesn't look like much is going to happen. But moving on to the gear then. So those are the guns. I'm not going to talk about the pistol. It's a Centurion. If you've got one, then it's great. I don't use pistol. Whoever does, yeah. You're obviously going to use lose in a 1v1. So on to my body armor then. I've got Barrett's bulletproof vest. Now this bulletproof vest is a pretty decent vest. I know Mighty Ginger runs a specialized, not specialized. That's the backpack. He runs a, I can't remember what the chest piece is called now, but he runs a gold chest piece. And he's had his since day one, so his is pretty good. My chest piece, I've rolled mine into firearms. It's nearly maximum, but the talent that comes with it, no skills on cooldown increases skill power by 10%, 1 skill on cooldown increases damage by 5%, 2 skills on cooldown increases armor by 10%, and then its major and minor attributes are 8% skill haste, 10% exotic damage resilience, and 55% ammo capacity. Now you tend to want to find one with ammo capacity on there, because when you're doing anything in PvE, you want that extra ammo when you're doing really hard missions. And then I've got 2 mods on here, both stamina mods. You want stamina mods on your chest piece, just because you're gonna need that, that extra stamina. So that just increases it. Moving on to my oxygen mask. So I've got Pharaoh's oxygen mask. This one its talent that's on it is a user can run and shoot their weapon while burning. So that is a very good talent. If you're being shot by a fire turret, it just really helps. And also if you're just been hit by a fire grenade, you can still shoot. Very helpful. Its major and minor attributes are 4% critical hit chance, definitely a good roll, and a 14% increased kill XP. A PvE talent that really is, unless you're in the last stand and you need that extra XP. On this one I've got firearms mods. Any mod that increases anything is just useful anyway, and this one's got quite good health on it, so it increases my toughness. And then next I've got the Shortbow Championship knee pads. Now these are very good. You want to find these. These ones on it have got the fuse time on grenades is reduced to 0.20 seconds. So if you're throwing a grenade on someone, then you're going to want that instant impact. Especially if you're in the last stand and you want to throw a shock grenade on someone. It just helps you get that quick response, and then you can start shooting them. Major and minor attributes on this one: 16,244 health, definitely increases my toughness. And then its minor attributes are 30% bleed resistance, 56 increased kill XP, 28% shock resistance. So definitely good knee pads. These are pretty insane. I've got a stamina mod and a prototype performance mod on here, so that increases my stamina, and also it gives me a 1% critical hit chance. and the performance mod on it is the turret duration, unless obviously it gets shot. Onto my backpack then, I've got specialised backpack, which are always very, very good. It adds 200% of firearms and stamina to your skill power. It tends to increase your firepower, your toughness, and your skill power, the specialised backpack. So, not by much. So if I was to take this off, it doesn't always have a massive impact, but definitely adds and increases your toughness, firepower, and skill power. Major and minor attributes then on this one, it's got 12,730 health. And then the minor attributes is 17% bleed resistance. That definitely helps you. And then the mods that I've got, prototype stamina mod, which is increasing my stamina and also adds to my skill power, that one. So it definitely is a good stamina mod to have. And then I've got 2 prototype performance mods, which you can always have on a backpack. This one increases, I've put both of these plus 3.50% turret damage, so it just helps me when I'm in the last stand. Moving on then to my gloves, I've got the Skull MC gloves. So the talent on these, damage is increased by 16% when no set bonuses are active. Definitely helpful to have these gloves if you're not running a set like I am. So then obviously with a set bonus you can have like increased like pistol damage, LMG damage, rifle damage, whatever. So this one gives me 5% critical hit chance, 9% skill haste, and plus 4,150 marksman rifle damage. There's its main major attributes, and that just helps simply if you're not running any any gear sets or anything like that. Even though I'm not running a marksman rifle, doesn't really matter because it increases my critical hit chance. So very, very good gloves there. I haven't quite got the best roll for firearms, but I'm sure I will roll that eventually. And then last but not least, Colonel Bliss's holster. So on this, the talent is also you want to roll this one into electronics, because if you're running all of these exotic gear pieces, your electronics will be so low you probably won't have any of your talents on your guns, and you always want your talents on your guns. Ignore the fact that one of my talents isn't on my gun, but you always want to have that roll on just so you get all of those talents. The talent on the Colonel Bliss's holster is hitting a target consecutively with a sidearm increases your damage with all weapons by 2% for 10 seconds. This effect stacks until 10 shots after with the EMP is consumed and triggers an EMP effect. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually use my sidearm, so it's not very good talent. And also the major attributes on this is a 7% skill haste. I think I will need to find myself a better holster than this one, but still, nonetheless, it's still a good holster. And of course, the performance mod is a turret health. Definitely helps when you're in the last stand. But that is my build. If you want to copy it, then it's up on screen now, and I've just taken you through all of it. But that is my build. It's a pretty insane build. I do need to find myself better guns, but I will probably farm for new guns when the new 1.8 update comes. But yeah, that's my mod. Before I go, I'm just going to quickly show you my abilities. The ones you want to run are Overdose, just gives you that sort of extra medkit just when you're low health, you don't have any medkits left, just pop that. My ultimate is Recovery Link, so obviously when you're down, use it wisely, don't just use it if you're going down. But this will basically overheal and also heal anyone around you, and if anyone's down, pop it, because it's a recovery link, funny enough. And then my turret, obviously, why I've got so many prototype performance mods of the turrets is because of this. I have a turret on and I have the Zapper mod on. Now this will freeze your opponents in the spot so you can just shoot at them and kill them when in the last stand. Now the talents that I am running with as well are critical save, use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Helps if you use a medkit and you're low health, obviously in the last stand with a toughness like mine, you may end up needing to use a med kit. So it's a very helpful talent to have. Uh, Strike back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns. I mean, it does help ish. It tends to be. I don't really use this talent, but it's very good because it can reduce your cooldowns. And then I've got Steady Hands. Enter any cover to reduce recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. Now, this is a PvE talent. If you're going in PvE, maybe shooting at some Dark Zone bosses, or I know that's PvP, but you're still shooting against AI, or you're just playing missions or whatever, and this is a good one to have because it does reduce your recoil. And on the AK-47, the recoil isn't fantastic, so it just helps a little bit. And then on the move, this one's more of a PvP talent. Kill a hostile whilst moving to reduce incoming damage by 15% for 10 seconds. Now, I will stress, if you do move from any, if you're shooting at one hostile and you move to another one, so either in the dark zone or out doing whatever, then the damage hits you all in one stage. Now, it's quite a difficult talent to master, but I like it nonetheless. But yeah, that is my build. If you've liked this video, then please leave a like and subscribe and enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.
So you don't know what you're doing, and the walls are closing in. Just remember where